One Page Weekly with Nick Slavik. Creation. Data plus feelings. I love data. You guys know that. This week's data really made me pause and be grateful. About 64% of all humans are married. 10% of human women will have 4 or more kids. 17% of humans will start a business. What happens when you put all these together? 0.5% of all humans currently will ever get married, stay married to the same human, have 4 or more kids, and start a business. In 1950, this stat was 12.5%, meaning a couple 75 years ago were 24 times more likely to get married, stay married, have 4 or more kids, and start a business. One of the 8 areas of my life in which I'm intentional is volunteer activities. Part of this is mentoring youths, getting involved with community groups, local government, and exposing students to career paths like military, trades, college, and above all else, entrepreneurship. Yesterday was the New Prague High School Career Day. It was their second. I've given keynotes at each. I also was allowed to have a table at the fair where tons of local businesses were represented. Myself, my wife, and my people had the privilege of speaking to hundreds of kids about what we do and what they want to do when they leave school. Upfront and honest, I filled a van with Alani energy drinks, Cheez-Its, and candy. I handed them out readily and aggressively. I even told all the 10th graders during my keynote to come see me for some of their beloved energy drinks. We had to make a resupply mission after the first of 3 groups. But I know how humans work, this whole incentive thing. Getting 15-year-olds to open up and talk to a bearded dude in beige who colors houses for a living is not easy, but snacks and drinks help. My wife Toots was with me, so were my project managers and estimators. Also, I did a joke about 6'7" in my keynote. I was nervous about it. My kids told me to do it, and they coached me up on it. It was a great success. Lots of laughs, lots of compliments when the kids came and saw me at my table. The queue for this table was long. I figured that these young people wanted to really understand how oil primer worked, but they were probably just hungry and thirsty. That's fine, and I can live with that. There were 2 main questions asked of me and my people. What are your working hours? Having answered this hundreds of times in interviews over the years, I have the best response. We work a 4-day work week. You get a 3-day weekend every week for the rest of your life. You want to talk about value proposition. The youths love that. The second question was a simple one, but with a deeper, more complex answer. What do you like most about your job? The students would ask. I paused, prepping an answer far more meaningful than they had probably wanted. My wife beside me. I would look at her, and I would say this. I stand back and look at my family, my farm, the people I've gathered around me in my 3 businesses, the thousands of clients we solve problems for, and the almost 40 families that rely on me in some way for their well-being, and I'm grateful for it all. What I like best is that if my wife and I did nothing, none of this would exist. I wake up and decide to make all this exist and progress every day. I love the weight of it all. I love creating a freedom machine for all these people around me. The kids get it, just like they do when I explain this to them in the business classes I speak to in high school. In a world where old people complain about kids being stupid, lazy, addicted to tech, etc., I see energy, hope, and the same thing that was in my generation and generations before me. The deep biological urge to create something in the world for themselves and the people who they will eventually surround themselves with. My goal is to expose these kids to a possibility I was not exposed to, being part of the 0.5% of humans who will create their own freedom machine. This has been One Page Weekly with Nick Slavik.